You think you've got my number figured out? A motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. I wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, and if I lose the fight, I still rage against the night. Don't box I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine.
Ooh, welcome to the Wednesday? I don't know what day it is today. Welcome to the Wednesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome day. There's been quite the amount of issues as you saw. Trust me, I've been working on it in the background. Welcome everybody. Anna, Heat, B-Cat, Soul Life. Listen, you need to chill the fuck out. Okay? You really do need to chill out with that shit. Michael Hassler, welcome. B-Cat, welcome. Holy shit. Anyways. What year is it? 2026 according to my calendar. I don't even know. Is it 2026? I don't know. I'm hoping. I'm hoping. maybe I'm hoping it's like 2030. 2028. Can we fast forward a couple years? I'm sorry to hear that. Me too. Everything just shut off at the same time. I was like, what is going on? Why is nothing working? Anyways, I think I got it all figured out. It seems to be okay. Bruno, welcome. Live from Polymarket Studios. Thank you, Michael Hassler. I'm not being sensitive about it. It's just that shit happens. We have stuff to take care of in the background. Ladybug, welcome. Yeah, we're just trying to we're just trying to get stuff going. Alright folks, let's get started. We got a few things to talk about before we get out of here. It is almost I can sense the weekend coming here. I can sense the weekend. Oh, and my Spotify just died. We just got a new monitor and still don't know how to use it. Is it like a big monitor? I love monitors. I just got one recently too. Hoping things get easier. Me too. Me too. What does the weekend feel like? Good question. I'll let you know.
Let's watch Emma Vigeland on CNN. When was this, Friday night?
Yeah, Friday night.
These guys.
Guys.
They really...
I'll tell the story again just because if we clip this, it was interesting. I arrived early to the panel. It was me and the two Republican guys.
Oh, are you building a PC? I'm having trouble selecting the graphics cards, among other things. If you're building a PC, it's a pretty bad time. It's a pretty bad time all around. Breaking, a deal has been reached to fund most of DHS minus ICE and CBP. Wow.
And
I don't know like how like fundamentally that's going to affect things. I mean, I guess TSA is going to open up and the airports are going to be a bit smoother.
And this guy, Tim, to my left, Tim Parrish, assumed that I was a conservative. And like when they do me up like that, I almost want them to magify it. Cause you know, whatever, like my blonde highlights come out, my whiteness is very obvious.
You need to figure out a name like Hank Pecker for when Hassan goes MAGA.
I know.
Hank
I mean, it's
Pecker.
just, I'm already white enough though.
Your name is already kind of.
Yeah.
Give
So
me the Tammy Faye.
they went
Nadia, welcome. I'm sort of doing that, but if it gets too bad, I'll buy a pre-made PC. I mean, like, it's the same. Wouldn't it be more expensive to buy a pre-made PC, or is it, like, cheaper? I genuinely don't know. I just know that, like, RAM and anything involving that, like memory and stuff like that, is getting extremely expensive to the point where, like, this is, like, one of the rare, if I can't remember a time ever where consoles have actually gotten more expensive over time. I've never seen that before. Ever in my gaming life. I'm sort of doing that, but if it gets too bad, I'll buy pre-made. To be fair, now might be the best time unless you're holding out for the next presidency to build it. True. It's gonna be a while before all that gets solved. Fuck ice, indeed. Pre-made is more expensive as a rule, but RAM is making it buying standalone too expensive. Gotcha. Pre-made, okay, gotcha. Yeah, the RAM stuff is pretty bad. The graphics card also, anything that involves any of that information, like even SSD cards and anything that involves that, it is pretty expensive.
Hard on my eye makeup this time. And I, you know, so that he, I think, was a little taken aback that I was a socialist, leftist, whatever. But this guy Tim, I can't remember his last name, Parrish. He's playing a part to a degree. So I almost enjoyed this because, like, there's going to be an in-house conservative that's playing it up, and it's theatrical on purpose. But the Bush administration alum across from me, I could tell I really
involves canceling massive amounts of orders of RAM. I mean, will that mean, like, it'll just come all crashing down? Will RAM just, like, implode? Because if RAM prices implode, then they will become super cheap.
pissed him off. And in the break, I did say to him, like, I'm not shocked that you support illegal wars of choice. And it seemed to piss him off further, which was my goal. But anyway, that guy.
So is this before you say this to this
Pete
guy?
Seed is his name.
Is this before? Okay.
This is
Let me just
before.
say, when I saw this clip, like, I was like, my God, did they like wrap this guy in gauze and then just let him out, like take it off of the, you couldn't.
I just recently got an SSD for my thing. And a monitor to kind of just go with it, because I am doing basically what I'm doing is like a mobile kind of setup where I can just it's very basic, but it's my own little corner that I've been working on. Like there's literally it's just all running based off like a handheld. Basically. Crucial was my first place to go to stop for basic and RAM upgrades. I'm pretty sure I upgraded a long time ago this laptop with Crucial memory. I think it's 20. I think I have 24 gigs in here. I think I have 24 gigs, but it's DDR4 DDR4 RAM. This is kind of like an older laptop, clearly.
Wow.
I have a theory his birth name's not Pete Seat, but George Bush just changed it.
Yeah.
At that point, because he was a White House spokesperson for Bush.
Petey.
Yeah, I saw him sitting once.
Hey, Pete.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pete Seat.
You're going to be Pete Seat because you're always sitting.
That's honestly.
Petey Weedy Seedy. That's what I call you. Petesy Weetsy Seatsy.
Yeah. So I know what I'm getting in for there. I tried to, or what I'm getting into, I should say. But I guess this was a clip, and I knew as soon as I brought up the Gaza genocide, it was going to be a dog pile, and here we go.
And we'll take action. I don't want that to happen. I don't think anyone at this table or any of the American public wants that to happen. But everyone should be on notice that this is a president of action who will, in fact, do what he needs to do to carry out his mission of protecting the American people.
What do you mean as a state sponsor of terrorism, though? How do you define terrorism?
Are we going to argue that Iran is literally
Israeli government is, which dragged us into this war, which every president prior.
Number one sponsor.
But I guess this was a clip, and I knew as soon as I brought up the Gaza genocide, it was going to be a dog pile, and here we go.
We'll take action. I don't want that to happen. I don't think anyone at this table or any of the American public wants that to happen, but everyone should be on notice that this is a president of action who will, in fact, do what he needs to do to carry out his mission of protecting the American people.
What do you mean?
Guys, what are we protecting? What are we protecting exactly here? By what are we protecting exactly by going to war with a country that posed absolutely no imminent threat to us whatsoever? You know what I mean? Like what exactly? Who is being protected? Your favorite president has watched the so-called Majority Report. They love to make fun of your favorite president, me. I'm suing them for $50,000 for identity theft. Thank you for your attention to this matter. We're protecting the profits of weapons manufacturers. True. They should at least let Hassan sit at the table. Not in a million years. I don't think CNN will ever do that. CNN will never do that. They should bring in more than one progressive at a time. There's an imbalance. Yeah, that's on purpose if you ask me. Their Amazon's off the market because pre-orders have claimed it, canceling the pre-orders because they scam on a business, dumps it all on the market at once. Yeah, which I would imagine the price would implode, right? Like if that happens or when that happens, I imagine like the prices would just kind of implode, right? I am using DDR5. Oof, that's rough. Feelings repel. Earth homies, welcome. CNN has already interviewed Hassan. Anything is possible. That's true. Hassan was just on CNN talking about Cuba. Yeah, but Hassan and like another progressive and maybe like having the tables more equal, that will never happen. that will never happen. I love that woman's bob.
The state sponsor of terrorism, though. How do you define terrorism?
Are we going to argue that Iran is literally the number one?
Is Iran committing genocide in Gaza right now?
Are we going to argue? Yes. Zero hesitation. Are we gonna argue? Yes. Actually, yes. Actually, yes. This needs to happen.
Like the Israeli government is, which dragged us into this war, which every president prior.
Number one sponsor of terrorism.
47 years
around the world.
Yeah. This is such a like. This is such a this is such a dragged out talking point. That never seems to die. Like, listen, I don't know if that's true or not. But in any case, it is none of our like. There is absolutely zero justification for bombing Iran. Zero justification.
Have killed Americans and our allies across this world.
Okay.
They are trying to obtain nuclear weapons.
Yeah, not a thing. That's literally not a thing. That's not happening.
They can annihilate Israel and potentially capitals in Europe.
There's no evidence of that. The JCPOA was actually a successful deal that Obama
I find
negotiated.
It appalling that you're an Iranian apologist.
Yeah, this is so
Iranian apologist, dude.
Nothing.
Basic facts here, just being laid out. Okay. Just basic facts, okay? Like there is no serious evidence to suggest that the Iranian government, regardless of what you feel about the Iranian regime, okay? Regardless of what you feel about the regime, okay? Like, the facts are the facts are the facts, right? Like, water is wet. That just doesn't change, okay? And the fact of the matter is, there is no evidence to suggest that the government of Iran was actually, like, actively pursuing a nuclear weapon, much less actively pursuing a nuclear weapon to launch at any American forces in the region, or to bomb Israel. I mean, like, there's just no evidence, and like that's happening. Okay. Also, why are we surrounding them with bases everywhere like if it was a siege? Yeah, again, like, and we're supposed to be the good guys here? It just makes no sense. Then CNN isn't giving these progressives a voice by allowing a seat at the table. It's a public, political, one-sided boxing match, 5-on-1. Just exactly how CNN wants it.
I can do
Iranian
Israel genocide, and then everybody swarms.
No.
One thing that you can't say. It's the one thing you can't say. It is about Gaza. This is about a regional conflict that's spiraling out of control that the president is adding to.
But there's no evidence that Iran wants nuclear weapons.
Literally no evidence of that whatsoever. Like, there is actually no evidence of that. Everything seems to point to the contrary. And we already had negotiations with them under the Obama administration. So all of this is, like, silly. And it's bullshit, okay? Like, just so that, like, people understand, like, this is all bullshit. What these two people are saying, what these two clowns are saying is just, like, total bullshit. It's total bullshit. If they wanted to acquire one, it would be to stop people from dropping high explosives on them. Yep. Emma's amazing on how she handled it. Yep. Is this so far off? What do you mean? Does that dude look on the left look like Zionist Andy Cohen? They're sitting awkwardly close to Emma. What a crappy set design choice. Unlike mine.
There has been a religious edict that has said since 2003 that they should not be creating a nuclear weapon.
They lied to the international.
We killed the Ayatollah, the older father, who was actually against building a nuclear weapon because he thought that it was going to
shocked that you were
genuinely shocked, man.
defending the Iranians. And I got to tell you, I hope
it's not about, like, it's just like this is like a faux virtue signaling, or whatever you want to call it. This is bullshit. Like, what are you talking about? It's not just like, it's not defending the Iranians to say the truth, right? Also, has it crossed your mind, whoever this guy is, has it crossed your mind that maybe we're the baddies in this situation? Like, maybe we're in the wrong? Again, regardless of what you feel about the Iranian regime, we're in the wrong here, okay? Like, attacking another country and bombing them, it's not justified. We're in the wrong here, okay? Have you ever considered that, sir?
that you tuck yourself in at night under that pillow of lies that you just told about. That is absolute a crock of a word I can't say on national television.
Okay, so the United States is funding a government that an Israeli human rights group that B'Tselem says is committing genocide, as is Amnesty International, as is every credible human rights group right now. We are there's a massacre in Gaza. There are hundreds of thousands of people unaccounted for under rubble. That's what I define as terrorism. Now, Iran is now exerting their leverage over the Strait of Hormuz.
Do you want the Iranians to have a nuclear weapon, yes or no?
Thousands of people disagree with your personal description.
Why are we dictating who can have what? Who the hell are we? We have like thousands of nuclear weapons. What are you talking about? Who are we to start dictating who can do what with their country? Right? Again, regardless of what you feel about the Iranian regime, which you can say, obviously is very repressive. The Iranian regime is incredibly authoritarian. In fact, it's very similar to what the Christian nationalists want to impose here, a theocratic, authoritarian society. You can say that, but like at the same time, we're in the wrong here, okay? We're the ones that started this aggression. We're the ones that decided to bomb Iran on behalf of Israel. Okay? This isn't like that difficult to understand, right? Like saying the United States and Israel is in the wrong. It is in the wrong because there's no like justification for just going in there. There's no good justification for going in there and bombing Iran. Is a completely separate position than to say like, oh yeah, the Iranian regime is good, right? Like these are two separate positions, okay? And again, this guy can't seem to grasp the concept that maybe we could be in the wrong too, right? Like maybe we're in the wrong. Zero introspection happening here with this gentleman. Both of them actually. Yes, every time I listen to a U.S. representative talk about Iran, it sounds like they're describing the U.S. Correct, because fundamentally it's the same thing, right? Like you want religious fundamentalism, you want a theocratic society, and that's what these people want. But of course, they're like brown or something, so that's bad. Yeah, we have Christofascism here now. Personal description. The bozos that are trying to stop M are so stupid they can't even get their heads out of their own asses and realize the genocide going on in Iran and Palestine. Yeah, because their job is to propagandize, right? Like their job is to sell this to the American people. Okay, their job is to sell this to the American people, right? Iran is this big scary, boogeyman that has nuclear weapons that's going to attack America, and they're the greatest sponsor of terrorism or whatever. Like that's their job. Okay, their job is to sell you on that. That's it. They don't care about how many people have died in Palestine. It doesn't matter how many children Israel has bombed. It doesn't matter how many children we have bombed. The point being is you need to be scared because Iran is going to have nuclear weapons in 2 weeks now or whatever.
What terrorism is, and I'm sorry, it doesn't meet the bill of what it actually
killing
is.
civilians is what I define it as
a diplomat.
Personal description. First off, can we just talk about this? They've been killing Americans for 47 years.
I mean, if you're so interested in saving Americans from being killed or whatever, assuming that's even true. Okay, this all seems just nonsensical, but quick question, why are they there? Why are they there? Yeah, mostly boomers are being sold on it. The same people who forget about the First Amendment. Yep. Yeah, but remember, Christianity is good and Islam is evil. True!
I don't know how many Iranians, they've supposedly, I guess, been paying money to other organizations. But there has been hundreds of probably of American military personnel killed by Hezbollah or other groups that are supposed Iranian proxies. And even if we grant, but this idea that Iran has been killing American citizens, civilians, is bunk. We killed more Iranian civilians in day one than Iran has killed in 47 years.
I mean, Israel has killed how many Palestinian Americans without any recourse over the past 2.5 years of genocide?
In the West Bank.
Yeah. Yeah.
Israel has killed more Palestinians.
I wish I was high.
I mean,
feel
even
that.
it was just shocking. As soon as I say Gaza genocide, that's the beginning of my answer, and the whole table starts interjecting. And that doesn't happen for other people's answers. It just was happening there because I was saying something that isn't typically said on national television, which was my agenda there. And also, they're disagreeing with the United States' own intelligence about Iran's nuclear capabilities.
Yeah, we've known this for decades, man. We've already had this conversation. We've already had this conversation decades ago, okay? Like this idea that Iran is having nuclear weapons, or they're gonna be like, bombing. This is all nonsense. Christians have a toxic deal relationship with Judaism. That's the only reason Islam is targeted. How it might be why the U.S. pushes Judaism and Zionism, Hasbara. I mean, like, all this, like, religious extremism is kind of, like, the root of the problem, right? Like, it'd be one thing, like, if you just, like, hang out and chill, but, like, the people that are pushing this are just, they're religious extremists, right? Like, they're radicals. Like, these Christian Zionists, are radicals. They're radicals. Watch me address the nation. I will once again lie to my stupid supporters on how we're winning. All we do is win, win, win with me, your favorite president.
Tulsi Gabbard just testified to this effect some months ago. And that has also been the intelligence community's assessment that Iran was not seriously pursuing.
Sam Harris, he's also kind of... Sam Harris is also pretty... what's the word? It's the word just slipped out of my mind.
Doing a nuclear weapon? It's just absurd. We are also burying the lead that he said, tuck me under a pillow of lies.
Yes.
You got to lay your head down on the pillow of lies, tuck yourself under the blanket of lies, I would imagine. But this was just one other quick moment where they kept coming back and calling me an Iranian apologist. And
it's like super disingenuous, right? Like it completely, like, it's all attempting in the service of trying to, like, obscure the point. A sellout? No. Insufferable? Insufferable, I think, is the word I was trying to look for. Insufferable, I think. Of course, religious extremism is the issue, but a lot of other moving pieces, even just Sunni Shia. That's true. My pillow of lies. Get yours for 80% off at mypillow.com/mypillowoflies.
Couldn't help myself, but I started laughing a little bit in this one.
The American public, I think, is sitting at home watching this, gripping their chairs at the idea
gripping their chairs, okay? Hey, listen, bro. Thank you for speaking for the American public, okay? Thank you for speaking on for the American public, okay? What are we doing here exactly? Seriously. What are we doing? What are we doing? 88% surely. Didn't he have like a price that was like $14.88 or $88.14 or something like that? Or was that something else? Or was that another GOP thing? Am I misremembering? Didn't like the pillow guy have like a very obvious shout out to Nazis? It was like 1488 or like 88 something or other. Yes, okay, it was him, wasn't it? That's what I thought. Dumb as a rock, a box of rocks. So you may, let's not insult a box of rocks like that, okay? That's an insult. Yeah, let's be kind, because at least like a box of rocks is filled with something natural and useful. Diesel is $5 a gallon. Even more in some areas. Even more in some areas.
you are a Iranian sympathizer, and the people
Ripping their chairs?
The people
Again, this is so disingenuous for the people at home. Okay, for my liberals. Okay, listen. Are you here? Are you listening, liberals? Okay, listen. Just come here, just for a second. This is bullshit. Okay, and you should know better, and this should kind of embarrass you. Okay, this should kind of embarrass you. This is disingenuous, and CNN should do better. Okay, if you're a liberal watching CNN, just understand that like this is nonsense. Okay, this is the kind of stuff. Okay, for the sake for the sake of putting on like what opposing views, right, to like round out just to understand just to understand, like not all opinions are valid. Okay, not all opinions are valid and have the same weight or should be acknowledged, right? Like when someone tells you disingenuously that you're an Iranian sympathizer, right, just simply because you're stating facts, okay? Like who is gonna like believe this, right? Like the credibility is completely shot when you have people like this, right? A conservative strategist, right? For the sake of trying to balance things out when things aren't balanced, okay? Like the balancing act that we're playing here, right? The both sides that we're the both sides that we're pretending to have here is like one that's completely delusional and resorting to disingenuous tactics, right? And the other just saying like simple facts, okay? Like this isn't even like controversial. Emma Vigeland has said absolutely nothing controversial in any of these segments, okay? At all. All of this can be corroborated. She even told you where to go to corroborate that. The claims that she was making about genocide. This is bad. This is bad stuff. Like if you're a liberal and you're just like jamming to CNN, like just understand what's happening here. Okay? This PSA was brought to you by A Difficult Truth. Yeah, exactly. Blue Brother, you remember those times Trump claimed he was eligible for a Nobel Peace Prize? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Iranian sympathizer, like that's a bad thing. Like I know what they're trying to say. Like what they're trying to do is invoke like the xenophobia, right? Like the bigotry. But like again, it's just disingenuous on all sides. It's disingenuous on all sides because like saying that Israel is committing a genocide is not being an Iranian sympathizer. Saying that our war against Iran was based on illegal, dubious, and flat out false premises is not being an Iranian sympathizer. Christy, welcome. I see friends in here. We're all friends here. Conservatism is inherently evil. True. No lies detected. Emma's pillow of terrorism.
And it's not funny. The idea of what and that's scary. The idea of what the Iranian regime has done around the world.
Yeah, I mean, like that's literally how. That's literally the only way like you can react, right? Because it's like it's so insane. It's such a clown. It's such a clown thing to say. Like what else? How else can you respond to that on national television? Except to just like laugh at the absurdity being thrown at you in the name of like balancing out opinions or whatever. Like, look at us, we're so like nonpartisan or whatever, right? Bella Lugrisi, welcome. I watch MS Now, NBC, and CNN. Oh, there's nothing wrong with watching this stuff. I'm just saying, like, to my liberal friends who are just like eating this up without like analysis, or just like, you know, pretending that there's an actual conversation happening here. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm trying to highlight. Like, there is actually no debate happening here. There's no conversation happening here. So long as we have the understanding of the media analysis that we need to like handle this with, right? That's what I'm trying to convey here. That's all. You know what I mean? Let's be honest, Trump started the war for one reason, to distract from the Epstein files, and now he's desperately looking for an exit. Well, there's several reasons why he started this war. Presumably one of them possibly being distracting from the Epstein files, presumably at the behest of Israel, presumably because he needs to you know, make good on his promise to his donors. Like, there's several reasons as to why this all went down. But yeah, presumably, Iran has the right to defend itself. Sure, anyone that's being attacked has the right to defend themselves, right? Like, that's, you would think that conservatives would understand this, right? Supposedly, right? Like, the two-way guys, you know, I need to defend myself because, you know, it makes me a man or whatever. You would presumably, those people would presumably understand that if you bomb people, right, they tend to just defend themselves, right? Because you bombed them. You can't blame them for that. All the cool people hang out here. True. If you're here, you're cool. Look at that. It's known. Netanyahu blackmailed him. Probably. Probably. All of this can be true. All of this can be true. He's done this at the behest of Netanyahu, willingly or unwillingly. He's trying to distract himself from the Epstein files, or he's trying to distract himself from the bad economy. Although I don't know how that works because it's just making it bad. But anyways, yeah, I think there's several reasons happening here. I don't think there's like one. I think there's a couple of reasons probably. Ground level news. I call it Operation Epstein Fury. Don't worry about what Iran is doing around the world. Well, what has the U.S. done around the world? Correct. Exactly. Iran and Palestine have a right to defend themselves. Israel does not. You can't be the one doing the genocide and then saying that you are the victim, right? It's a very weird feeling not to want your side to win. Wrong is wrong, and we are in the wrong. We have a zero business in Iran, right? But like that's kind of like just being real, right? That's just viewing the facts. That's just viewing the facts on the ground, right? Like we had absolutely no right to kidnap Nicolas Maduro, despite what you feel or how you feel about Nicolas Maduro, right? We had absolutely zero right to blockade Cuba and essentially like try to starve people on the island. We have absolutely no right to bomb Iran for zero reason. Like there's zero legitimate reason at all. Right? Like Iran is not developing nuclear weapons. Iran never posed an immediate threat to American forces. Iran has, they literally had zero actual reasons as to why to attack Iran and start this war. And this guy, conservative strategist over here, is trying to sell you on the idea, and CNN, and CNN is putting this as like to pretend that they're like not biased, or to pretend that we have like we need to hear like all both sides. No, we don't. Okay, this is bull. Both sides. This isn't both sides at all. It's just one delusion. One person espousing delusions and one just stating simple facts. Right? Like there's no both sidesing this. It's very simple. Jeffrey Sachs just did an interview saying that Trump's lying is confabulation and a symptom of dementia. Possibly. Bro's brain is cooked. I would not be surprised at all. I would not be surprised. People forget Maduro still sitting in a cell. It was almost crazier than him going into Iran. That one blew my mind. I mean, like, yeah, and also, like, the regime didn't even change. The Maduro government is still there. The Maduro government is still there. It hasn't changed at all. Maduro never committed a crime in the U.S., and therefore the U.S. has no jurisdiction over Maduro. I agree. I don't know how they're going to prosecute this, like, drug smuggling, trafficking thing or whatever. I don't know how that's going to play out, but whatever. The point being is that we had no business doing that. We had no business blockading Cuba. We had no business kidnapping Maduro and his wife. We have no business murdering God knows how many people at this point. What, like 2,000? I don't even know. None of that. And the fact that this guy is sitting there and saying, like, so that means you're like a terrorist sympathizer is quite gross. Is quite gross. Been saying that since 2017. I mean, you're probably right. I would say that he definitely has cognitive issues. Business of the U.S. is sticking its nose into other people's business. True.
Not just to Americans, but to their own people. You talked about rights and things. They killed 30,000
I don't
people
defend the Iranian government, but the reason that we have this government...
Yeah, also that's, again, super disingenuous. If you're actually interested in helping the Iranian people, why the would you bomb them? And then expect them to see you as saviors? The U.S. asserts universal jurisdiction. You don't have to commit a crime on U.S. territory to be charged in a U.S. court. That's actually insane. Like, is that true? I'm not surprised that the U.S. would feel so entitled like that. But yeah, no, this is bullshit. It's bull. One of the charges is weapon possessions. Yeesh. There's a running gag since the Americans lack the basic worldly education. Like, what is Britain since bad lefties Irish pretend to mix it up with Scotland? Remember Trump saying there's very good people on both sides? Yep. Old Al Hooten, welcome.
I go into the fact that we overthrew their government in a coup, but I just like the idea of the CNN viewers at 10:30 p.m. on a Friday.
Yeah, again, like, for my liberal friends, okay? My liberal friends, please, like, understand what's happening here, okay? Please, I beg of you, okay?
Ripping their chairs in fear of me as an Iranian apologist, as if I was going to come knock down their door and say, time to convert to Islam, baby.
This is what's so fascinating about that segment to me, is that it is exactly how stuff went in the run-up to the Iraq invasion and occupation, except, like, there were people.
Artemis 2 launches in 11 minutes.
Like, you know, there was only one or two people who were allowed to go on and express a opposition to that war, and they were hugely demonized. Like, Janine Garofalo had a second career as a pinata in the run-up to that. Meanwhile, in this instance, everybody who's watching this, not everybody, but the majority of people who are watching this are going, what are you talking about? Like, how do you justify this war? They're the ones who are desperate. They're the ones who are have no public opinion on their side. And you can sort of, like, they're all sort of like rookies pulling out.
Like, wanted to go to the moon. My first word was moon.
these.
Yeah.
They have their one talking point, which everybody seems to be echoing.
Busting into someone's house and saying it's time to convert to Islam, baby, is a crazy visual.
For 47 years, Iran has been killing Americans. Really?
I mean, the debate continued into the break, and they were seemingly genuinely upset by what I said and said so to me. So
they probably you after saying Hezbollah killed 250 U.S. Marines in 1983. They have no more answers. They'll say, "Well, Hezbollah killing." There's no.
Yeah, if you're a social democrat, I consider you as a liberal because you accept capitalism. Every liberal accepts capitalism. Yeah, they're just like a different variety, right? Like at the end of the day, like I think like that's kind of like the defining factor, right? If you're still on board with capitalism, then yeah, you're pretty much like on the right. Doesn't mean that you're like obviously like far right, but it means that you fundamentally don't accept the idea. It means that you fundamentally don't accept the premise of the left thinking, right? Which is by definition anti-capitalist. Now, how anti-capitalist you are is up to you, but the point being is the line that divides the left and the right tends to be along that. Just generally speaking, because there's so many flavors of politics and whatnot. Anyways, you get my point.
International
capitalism is the bare minimum line for me. It's kind of like the catch-all, right? Like obviously you're not going to get every like perfect descriptor down, but like just generally speaking, like the divide here between left and right generally is along the lines of like whether or not you are whether or not like capitalism is do you believe that capitalism should be the way we structure our economic and like social kind of infrastructures. But anyways,
that has killed Americans, that has been sponsored by Iran.
You're misguided centrist in the end of the day if you reject Marxism. Kind of. I guess it just depends on like what like level, right? So yeah, to a degree, I guess, yeah.
Maybe. I honestly, like, if somebody has it, IM me by all means.
Yeah, like the AP poll, 62% of Americans do not support ground troops in Iran. Only 12% support it. And see if that is reflected in the mainstream media. You know, you got to wonder what CNN is thinking about with this Ellison takeover, if that ends up happening, because the Jake Tapper is quadrupling down on his racist Zionism. I saw he was retweeting anti-Hassan stuff this morning, and it appears like maybe Tapper wants to move out of the late afternoon and move into a late night anchorship. There's a lot of things that people are doing right now to audition for the new owners of the
whole podcast like set that they've set up is completely to appeal to Barry Weiss.
Yes,
it's completely to appeal to her.
I have no idea what that is.
So
she's doing such a great job.
All of this is so embarrassing. All this stuff.
Y'all gonna have to teach me because I have no idea what HAGGIS. Who would bring haggis to an annual? I have no idea what any of that is. You're gonna have to teach me.
Forgive me. Around Hassan.
Forgive me of my ignorance.
Is so embarrassing because here's the thing. The idea that they can sort of like drive a wedge between Hassan and Democratic lawmakers, no one cares. Yeah. No one cares. It is such a Pyrrhic victory. No one cares because the politicians that are interested in Hassan
also if you make like the break against like Hassan because you think that like genocide is like genocide is just like a position that you want to hold, you want to support a genocidal state, you want to support a genocidal state, then like goodbye. good riddance. Then maybe there should be a divide between you and Hassan because Hassan doesn't appear to support genocide. So yeah, I would say that if I was Hassan, I would like a clean break from anybody that supports genocide. So, yeah, that sounds like good. That sounds like they might be doing us a favor. Okay. And Dr. Jihad. Israel's a red line. Exactly. Supporting genocide. And then like making it out to be like a bad thing that you're being ousted because you're anti-genocide. Like whatever. Okay. Hassan is still the demonic boogeyman of the right. Haggis is Scotland's national dish, a savory pudding from sheep's pluck, minced with oatmeal, onion, suet, and spices. Nope. No, thank you. I don't think I can be paid to eat that. The oatmeal part, that's where you draw the line. Personally, I love oatmeal. Personally, I love oatmeal, okay? But obviously, the oatmeal that I eat is like super plain with just like salt and butter. And that's it. Right? I feel like Hassan got slandered with that dog collar thing just a little bit. Just a little bit. Who the hell is this Hassan? Hank Pecker. Is he from ABC Fake News? He's sad as hell. What a total loser. "100% Artemis doesn't launch today." Oof. Mixed with stomach and liver. That's what the pluck is. So yeah, no, I'm good. No, thank you. Godspeed if you like it. God bless you, but no, I'm gonna take a hard pass on that one. Oatmeal is the heart friendly carb. I'm big on oatmeal, okay? I'm good. In fact, I'll even like make smoothies with some oatmeal in it. But anyways, it's the only times I've been stoned someone mentioned food. I didn't get hungry. I mean, like, yeah, it's personally, okay, look, maybe I know some people might not like it, but hey, look, there's gonna be people that like it, and God bless. But personally, me, I have a very bland palate. So like the things that I eat are like super just like basic, okay? Like very, very basic. But yeah, I'm like a child, okay? It's like putting pineapple on pizza or ranch on an apple. Well, I don't know who puts pineapple on pizza. Kind of makes sense, okay? Look, you can cancel me for that one, okay? Pineapple on pizza is like not the worst, okay? But ranch on apple, I've literally never heard of that, and I would not do that. Cream of wheat with butter, brown sugar, and milk. Hawaiian pizza is a god tier. I mean, like, I'll eat it, and I prefer just like cheese. But yeah, I've had it a couple times. It's really not like that, but it makes sense, okay? Look, maybe it's because like I'm from Costa Rica, and we do like weird stuff where we put like pineapple in rice, okay? We literally put pineapple we literally put pineapple on rice, okay? So that is a thing. That is a thing. But it's not the worst, honestly. Honestly, it's not the worst. Pineapple on pizza will never make sense. No, it kind of does. It's really not the worst. I don't like ham, but I don't mind a little sweet on my pizza. Fruit salads with fruits in it, then people pour dressing on it, get effing apples out of that ranch. Yeah, I don't know how you would put ranch on an apple. Putting salt on watermelon makes more sense. Okay, I wouldn't do it. But putting salt on something like an apple or a watermelon that's sweet makes a bit more sense. Yes, I am a tico. Gallo Pinto. I love Gallo Pinto. Pineapple is on rice is halfway to teriyaki. Not as shocking as you think, as it sounds. Yeah. There you go. So like it okay, that makes kind of sense. But like I don't know with the ranch on apples. Can I have a banana? Sorry guys, you don't have a very adventurous palate. I mean, like to me, like Gallo Pinto, that's just rice, beans, and eggs. Okay, it doesn't get any more basic than that. But yeah, like salt on something sweet like an apple or like even like a watermelon kind of makes sense. But anyways, salami and dark chocolate, try it. Really? Now that is, as he points out, that is having an adventurous palate right there. Salami and dark chocolate. Oof. That is adventurous, okay? That is adventurous. Oatmeal, ground beef, caramelized onions, and fried mushrooms. Okay, that kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense. I might be able to rock that because it's literally just oatmeal, beef, and onions and mushrooms, okay? Maybe. maybe that's something that I might be willing to try. I love Costa Rica. Mike ate salt and pepper on cottage cheese. I would never handle that one. Man, I don't know about that. It's kind of, isn't cottage cheese kind of like already salty as it is? PB&J with spaghetti? No, okay, now hold on. This has to be a joke, okay? Salami and regular chocolate if you're a scaredy cat. I mean, I guess I could try it, but that is adventurous. I can kind of see the paths complementing each other, but the texture would weird me out.
They're going to continue to watch Hassan. They're going to continue to talk to Hassan. I mean, it is.
They also can't decide if Hassan is not impactful enough, which we're seeing some articles about how MSNBC really dwarfs his ratings.
Swiss cheese and apple. That actually is good. I've actually had that. It's just cheese and apple. That makes total sense to me. That is not that controversial at all. That is not controversial at all. I mean, chat's pretty bad, so yeah. I'll do young fruit Waldorf salad, apples, raisins, and mayo dressing. I wouldn't do ranch on apples either, but I get how some might. Yeah, I don't know about the mayo dressing. I don't know who. I don't know who approved that. Who approved that one? But it wasn't me. Cottage cheese and canned peaches. Maybe. That doesn't sound that out there, by the way. It's just like cheese and apples, right? That doesn't sound that quite out there. But yeah, there's a vinaigrette that goes on a salad with fruit on it. Cottage cheese and canned peaches is just what old people eat. Not that weird. Yeah, no, it doesn't sound like that bad. It's just like cheese, apples, and crackers, right? Perfect snack. Ham and donuts? Okay, we're John. All right, I'm tapping out. We're talking about ham and donuts? No.
Or if he's so terrifying that there needs to be this smear campaign against him, like pick which one. Is it a problem that the politicians go on his stream? Or if your theory is right, it will discredit them. But the problem is that they know that that's not the case.
We're getting into chicken and waffles territory. That is actually not that bad, okay? I've had it once. That is actually not that bad. And that is pretty adventurous for me. I stand by my pizza crust dipped in root beer. When I moved to the Midwest, the whole cheese on apple pie thing was a shocker to me. You probably dip fries in your Frosty too. Nope.
What McMorrow is doing by throwing Hassan under the bus is like she doesn't want to go after her opponent directly.
Burgers on glazed donut buns? No. What is it? What's that meme? If I find it, hold on. Come back, YouTube. Here, I'll finish the video while I look for it.
because and like maybe accuse him of anti-Semitism, because that's just a dog whistle for Islamophobia in some of these contexts.
Yeah, and a lot of it is just
she's
like,
auditioning.
A lot of it is just also like, it's not just to it's not just like Islamophobia. It's just really to shortcut the conversation about genocide. That's really what it is. Like, it just, the best way to just shortcut the conversation about genocide is just to call you an anti-Semite and be done with it. It works pretty well.
No. Wait. No.
That's literally me watching chat.
Wait.
That's literally me watching chat talk about burgers with glazed donut buns. I gotta give Emma credit. Our queen stood 10 toes down during that interview. She did really well. Definitely rose to the occasion. I agree.
For the Zionist donors that are growing tired of the losing campaign of Haley Stevens. So she's like, I'm open for business if you want to support me with some independent expenditures. And now she's calling for McMorrow 5 different debates. What do the internals say right now about Abdul al-Sayed? I hope that Stevens and McMorrow are cannibalizing one another. But I also saw that after this Hassan thing, Abdul al-Sayed's fundraising went up. So is Hassan a liability?
Well,
or
we know what it is.
Are you guys worried that it's the opposite?
Hassan is massively popular, and especially with people that the Democrats want to get to vote for them. And they can't admit that's true, because then what are they for? Money.
In Michigan, where we literally, it was so central to 2024 how that election was lost with and it wasn't just Muslim and Arab people that were disgusted by the genocide in Gaza, but it is a very acute example with a large Arab and Muslim population in Michigan as to where this could actually be a direct liability as well.
It is. I don't know. I guess it just from my own perspective, just watching the same moves, it's like watching, like, if you were to take a basketball, you could take Bob Cousy and put him on the court now. All of a sudden it's like, wait a second, no, the game is completely different now. Like
Y.A. Tittle should not be out there with Lamar Jackson.
It's just so for me, from my perspective, it is so encouraging to just see how off-footed they are.
Yes.
Like they have.
But we're not the audience, and voters, I don't think, are the audience. I think it's donors.
Well, that's right. But the point is, it used to be the audience. Like this used to resonate with voters, and now what you're watching is like, this is the bare knuckle, hopefully last grasp of these people, where like they can no longer use popular opinion to influence the donors. And
a conservative governor who wants to get rid of our income tax. What state is this for?
Keep that money coming. They're actually just having to sort of like bypass, and their sales pitch is getting to a narrower and narrower audience. One that at the end of the day is not going to make a difference. It's not going to make a difference. It doesn't hurt Hassan Piker to, not have an interview with Cory Booker.
Yeah, he's I'm bravely ruling this out.
It
sounds really depressed.
It is not going to. It just simply isn't going to do anything. It's just Cory Booker's leaving a couple of votes on the table. Maybe he doesn't need it or whatnot, but really it is fascinating. And hopefully it continues to move in this direction where they won't even bother. I mean,
did you see Alyssa Slotkin was also one of the people that says she won't go on Hassan's show? Oh no. And she was on Bill Maher's show on Friday going how I mean, God, I hated hearing the words coming out of a woman's mouth. How pathetic do you have to be? She goes, the Democratic Party needs some more masculine energy. There's no secret about that. I'm
We
like,
need alphas.
you know, and you know, actually, I saw this, Dave Weigel made this point where they did some
More
like kind of
alphas?
loose poll at a Democratic primary about AOC 2028, and that she was doing a lot better with men than with women. And Dave made this point, like, anecdotally, when I go to rallies, there are a lot of women that are like, I can't even like imagine the idea of like seeing another woman lose to a Republican, and they have really internalized. And you have Michelle Obama going out there saying a woman can't win or whatever.
Thanks, Michelle.
Like the idea that like you have Democrats that are engaging in this is this like negating, I don't know, cynical view of the American public like this. And I get it. They've given us a lot of reasons to be cynical. But how are you saying this with little girls out there? And like, there are women that have internalized this, and the women can never be president on this. I mean, I don't know. And she's saying that we need this masculine energy and we need more young men back into the party, as they reject Graham Plattner, who's doing quite well with young men, as they reject Hassan.
And Abdul El-Sayed.
And Abdul El-Sayed.
The bros love Janet Mills.
Right.
Dude, she's wicked pisser. Yeah. She totally.
See at 11.
You know what Lisa Slotkin is doing, right? Like, she would be terrified to go on with this.
Oh well, she
after she did that, she needs an excuse to not go on. So she makes it like I'm taking a principled stand instead of she is cutting and running. Alyssa, like, slink away is what I call it.
How about Slopkin?
Slinkinton. Slinking away and contin.
You tried.
Yeah, Slopkin? No.
I still think
not a verb.
I mean, her House version, I always confuse her with on the Republican side, is Maliotakis. And that the best one ever was Malio Stock Tips from George Santos.
Yeah. He served his purpose.
That was truly, I mean, he didn't serve his time, but he served with that one.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.
I'll put it right there. Alright, folks, we got to speed run through some of this. The Sam jump scare. This time we didn't get to see it. It was being blocked. So semi good news. The Supreme Court cast doubt on Trump's birthright citizenship, which he presumably stormed out because it looked like the case wasn't going to go his way. President Trump became the first sitting president to attend the Supreme Court oral argument on Wednesday and watched as key justices cast doubt on his effort to restrict birthright citizenship. Even Trump's unprecedented courtroom appearance couldn't shield his executive order from skeptical questioning by justices, a sign the court may reject his attempt to redefine who counts as an American. A majority of justices, including some conservatives, appeared skeptical of the administration's bid to narrow birthright citizenship during more than 2 hours of oral arguments. Chief Justice Roberts called the government's legal reasoning quirky. That's one way of putting it. I guess. When Solicitor General John Sauer cited the advent of flight, Roberts replied, "It's a new world. It's the same Constitution." Justice Brett Kavanaugh dismissed Sauer's comparison to other countries' citizenship policies, which try to interpret American law with American precedent based on American history. Wow. Trump's birth parents weren't even citizens of the U.S. Yeah, deport him. The vast majority of countries in the Americas, 27, got an automatic birthright citizenship, according to Pew Research. It's rare outside the Western Hemisphere. No European country offers unconditional birthright citizenship, and only 6 countries outside the Americas do. Trump didn't have birth parents. He was shit out by the devil. True. Restricting birthright citizenship by executive order twice is underlying of Trump's vile racism. Yep. I mean, like, yeah. All the people asking for, like, examples of how Trump is racist, like, here you go. Yeah, send Barron. On his first day back in office, he signed the executive order at the center of the case, restricting a right rooted in the Constitution that the Supreme Court affirmed more than 125 years ago. Wednesday's argument centered on the meaning of 5 words in the 14th Amendment, subject to the jurisdiction thereof. The administration argued that those words require parents to be permanently and legally settled in the United States. The ACLU, which represents the plaintiff in the case, said the phrase covers virtually everyone on U.S. soil with the exception of diplomats and invading armies. After oral arguments concluded, Trump posted on Truth Social, "We're the only country in the world stupid enough to allow birthright citizenship," which is obviously insane because that's just not true. Commodore Wiseman, who writes this crap? OPSEC, baby. I still don't understand the origin of the term gosh speed. What was his executive order? He was trying to limit birthright citizenship by saying that reinterpreting the last part here, subject of the 14th Amendment, subject to the jurisdiction thereof. The president's order acted on a once fringe belief that U.S.-born children of undocumented immigrants are not entitled to U.S. citizenship, a view linked by critics to a racist white replacement conspiracy theory per Axios Russell Contreras. Trump posted on Truth Social this week that birthright citizenship is about the babies of slaves and was never meant for immigrants. It was meant for everybody because the Constitution covers everyone. My comments on Lie Social are chicken shit, and you know I'm lying. I don't know the exact executive order. He's done so many. 16 people watching. Is it? Welcome, Tropical Ding Dong. Yeah, about 16 people, 17 people on the YouTube side, and about 10 people on the Twitch side. I was at a rental car place in Santa Barbara when a launch happened in Vandenberg. It was wild. Dumb judges and justices will not a great country make. Guess he couldn't bother to use spell check. Once you feel that rumble, you never forget. That's awesome. Courts have held this since 1898 that the amendment applies to virtually all children born on U.S. soil. Trump railed against the Supreme Court justice, struck down the sweeping tariff agenda in a majority ruling on February. However, the High Court sided with him in several cases last year, letting him fire federal workers, resume mass deportations, ban transgender people from military service. Did he do more than one executive order on birthright citizenship? I think he's this term around he only did one. I think this is the center of the case. I'm pretty sure it was just the one. Oh God. Okay, we will get here, folks. We'll get there. My God. Not gonna lie, folks. Today has been absolutely freaking rough. But here we are. Mario Tennis. Trump says the U.S. may exit Iran war soon and threatens to quit NATO. Hey guys, the war is almost over, I guess. The United States will end its war on Iran fairly soon and could return for spot hits if needed, President Trump told Reuters on Wednesday today. hours before he was scheduled to make a primetime address to the nation. It's at 9 p.m. Your favorite president is going to make a very important announcement. Everyone needs to tune in at 9 p.m. Did Iran said they were blowing up shit today? Yeah, President Trump is not going to determine when the war ends, because if Trump decides to pull out, right? And Iran can still keep the Strait of Hormuz closed, right? Like, that doesn't change that until they get security guarantees. Yeah, they were threatening American companies. Usually he's not serious about quitting NATO. I mean, who knows? The guy is unhinged. Yeah, we pretty much lost. Big Jerry, welcome. Welcome, No Justice MTG Raiders. Thanks for the raid. Hey, thank you so much. How do I see whenever I get raided? I never get to see anything. It doesn't even give me like a notification at all. But in any case, welcome Raiders. I appreciate all of you guys hanging out. Huge shout out to No Justice MTG. Please go follow, go support her channel on Twitch and on YouTube. Like the stream before dipping out, folks. They can start adding a tariff to go through the strait. Exactly. Iran is the one that's going to determine when this is over. But yeah, Mr. Savanton, welcome, welcome. You got a YouTube raid for No Justice. Yeah, I see that because y'all are saying hello, but I wouldn't know that unless, you know, people start popping in. But I have no way of seeing that. At least here. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong area. Oh! Okay. Maybe I'm just looking in the wrong area. I wish I wish they would like have a little what is it? Alert. But I don't know if that happens with YouTube. Put on your notifications and don't forget to smash that like button. True. Trump wanted out of NATO in term 1, I assume due to Russia. It still might be placating to Russia. Who knows? Who knows what this guy's gonna do? It's unclear. It is unclear. Before he was scheduled to make a primetime address to the nation, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Trump said he would announce in the speech, which is slated for 9 p.m. On Thursday. Oh, wait, is it? Oh, no, it's today, right? That he was considering withdrawing the U.S. from NATO alliances over what he sees as failure to support the U.S. in the war. So basically, he is big mad that the European countries didn't really want to play ball with Trump of Hormuz. Oh, is it tomorrow or today? When is this thing? Because it says 0100 GMT, so that sounds like it's like GMT. I'm assuming it's in the forward in the forward. It's ahead. Well, there you have it, folks. The launch was apparently successful. Maybe the U.S. shouldn't have aided NATO then. What the F is the point if there's no members you volunteer to protect? They used to show the whole flight till they realized they were showing classified ops on live stream. The fact that Russia's telling Iran where our soldiers are is crazy. Trump acts like he doesn't know. Eight hours ahead of Pacific. Germany and France are like 9 hours. Gotcha. Not successful till they're home safe. That's true. A suspected Trump insider account on Polymarket made a massive bet today that the land invasion is coming this weekend. Are we serious right now? Are we like determining military tactics? Because Polymarket is making bets? That is wild. Can you imagine if that actually happens? Globus the Elder, welcome. They're not even landing on the moon, but they have a long flight left. Trump wants Marines to die in vain. He doesn't care. Doesn't care at all. Thousands of people have been killed across the Middle East since February 28th when the U.S. and Israel struck Iran, triggering Iranian attacks on Israel, U.S. bases in Gulf states while opening up a new front in Lebanon. The conflict has unleashed one of the largest supply shortages in global energy. You mean oil. You mean oil. Polymarket is a wild site. Heaping political pressure on Trump to end the conflict quickly, even as analysts said his objectives had not been met. The International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and International Energy Agency on Wednesday warned the war is having substantial, global, and highly asymmetric effects and said they would coordinate their responses, including through potential financial support to the countries hit hardest. Asked when the United States would consider the war, the Iran war over, Trump said, "I can't tell you exactly. We're going to beat out pretty quickly." Okay. Okay. If the US was a car salesman, it's like saying the sticker price is $10K, but I'll let you get it for $7K, and then a year later you repo the car missing a $3K payment, and then sell that same car for like 12. The only reason they went into space now is to throw the Epstein files out the window. He was expected to reiterate a 2 to 3 week timetable for ending the war in Iran during the address, the White House official later said. U.S. action had ensured that Iran would not have nuclear arms. That was never going to be a thing. They won't have a nuclear weapon because they are incapable of that now, and they weren't really doing that. So, yeah, just to be clear, they were never, ever, ever on the path to actually make a nuclear weapon. That wasn't their objective. As far as any evidence that we can see. Then I'll leave and I'll take everybody with me, and if we have to come back to do spot hits, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian said in a letter addressed to the American people that his country harbors no enmity towards ordinary Americans, the Press TV reported on Wednesday. Global oil supplies are expected to be hit twice as hard this month as in March, the IEA said on Wednesday, underlining the urgent need for an end to the conflict. Trump said separately on social media that Iran had asked for a ceasefire, but that would not consider it until Tehran ceased blocking the Strait of Hormuz, a major fuel shipment route. Iran denied making any such requests. Two security sources from Pakistan, which is mediating the conflict, told Reuters that Islamabad had proposed a temporary ceasefire, but had not heard back from either side. I trusted that site to actually pay out. I would have opened an account, but alas, it's basically unregulated, could be shut down anytime. I still recall when Full Tilt Poker was shut by the FBI. Saying missile is just an excuse to go after all the metalworks, any sort of fabrication factories, etc. That would be that was an analogy of how the U.S. is treating NATO deals. The U.S. is the great Satan. True. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance communicated with intermediaries from Pakistan about the Iran conflict as recently as Tuesday. A source briefed on the matter told Reuters on Wednesday, making it clear that Trump was open to a ceasefire as long as U.S. demands were met, including reopening the Strait of Hormuz. The source said Trump had suggested on Tuesday he could wind down the war in 2-3 weeks without a deal, while scaling up threats to pull U.S. out of NATO defense alliance if European states did not help Iran from blocking the waterway. Not even that great a Satan, kind of a mid Satan. True. You know, your favorite president is not even serious about leaving Iran. I'm just lying yet again. True, I would have nothing to gamble anyways. I feel that. Shady Baggins. And it seems to freeze 5 minutes after the loading page. Gotta love YouTube. Gotta love YouTube. Living in the US is enough of a gamble for me. True. In remarks to Reuters on Wednesday, Trump said he would express his disgust with NATO for what he considers the lack of the U.S. Objectives in Iran. European states took pains to appear unruffled, and France's junior army minister, Elise Rufo, said operations by NATO in the Strait of Hormuz would be a breach of international law. IEA head Fatih Birol said that Iran's effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz has already limited supplies of jet fuel and diesel to Asia and would hit Europe in April or May. The head of the European budget airline Ryanair said jet fuel supply to Europe could be disrupted from June if the conflict did not end in the next month, potentially forcing the airline and rivals to consider canceling summer flights. Oh no. Business around the world are struggling with cosmetics and tea among the latest sectors to report difficulties. However, the global stocks rallied and oil prices fell almost 3% as hopes of a de-escalation fueled the highest rebound in regional equities in more than 3 years. Higher fuel prices are already weighing on U.S. household finances before November midterm elections, with 2/3 of Americans believing the U.S. should work to exit the war in the Iran war quickly, a Reuters Ipsos poll found. Drones hit fuel tanks at Kuwait's international airport, causing a big blaze, and authorities in Bahrain reported a fire at an undisclosed company facility from an Iranian attack. So, yeah, I mean, you know, good stuff happening. Qatar said an oil tanker leased to the state-owned Qatar Energy was hit by Iranian cruise missiles in Qatari waters, but that there was no injuries or environmental damages. An overnight strike hit Said Haghani Port, Iran's largest passenger terminal. A deputy regional governor told state media, calling it a criminal attack on civilian infrastructure. Iran has fired repeatedly on Gulf countries, some home to U.S. bases, and is using the Strait of Hormuz, which carries a fifth of the global oil and liquefied natural gas, as leverage. I went to San Filipino for spring break in 2001. It's depressing but fun. Wow, 2001, pre 9/11. Wow. Which boy band had a JD? I almost said I almost thought about Justin Timberlake, but that would have not. No, that's not right. In Tel Aviv on Wednesday, evening air raid sirens and air defense systems were repeatedly triggered as Iran fired a volley of missiles around an hour before the start of Passover, the Jewish festival of freedom. Israel's fire and rescue services said there's multiple impacts on the greater Tel Aviv area. It was not immediately clear if the impacts were caused by missile strikes or debris from missile interceptions. Shortly after the latest Iranian attack, the Israeli military said in a statement that Air Force was carrying out dozens of strikes on dozens of targets on Tehran. So, yeah, stuff is happening. We're exiting the war, apparently. I guess we're going to find out today at 9 p.m. One of the biggest launches since the start. First woman on a moon mission and first black person. Nice. Shifting gears to the sunshine state of Florida. The freest state in the country. So free that we now have to engage in voter suppression. Why is Ron DeWoke copying my SAVE Act? I own the copyright to that SAVE Act. Get ready for legal charges. Ron DeWoke, Meatball Ron. Thank you for your attention to this matter. The law's requirement for proof of citizenship to register to vote and stricter voter ID rules won't take effect until next year. The new law, which most of which won't take effect until after the midterm elections, is Florida's version of the federal SAVE Act, a bill President Trump has championed. That measure is currently stalled in the U.S. Senate, where it lacks the 60 votes needed to advance under current rules. So basically, the reason why we're pointing this out is because if this manages to work, I'm sure that other red states are going to follow suit. The music is coming from here. Yeah, there is music in the background. It's very low, but it's there. He has been perfecting his accent all this time. I've been trying, okay? Personally, I think it's a pretty poor impression. I just do it for the memes, but, you know, it is what it is. This bill protects and expands the integrity of our voter registration process. Our Constitution in the state of Florida says only American citizens are allowed to vote in our election, so we need to make sure that that is the law. But isn't it in the Constitution? Therefore, like, so the Constitution isn't law? I'm confused. So you're saying that the Constitution is not the law? I'm so confused. Okay, sure. The impression is legit. Well, thank you. It's the only good thing come out of this presidency. Don't be modest. I've been talking about line up healthcare. This is really maybe painful. Isn't quite the word. Uncomfortable and undignified way to go. Yeesh. Well, I hope so too. I hope so too. Democrats and voting rights advocates warn Florida's law will disenfranchise. They're amending it without an amendment. Gotcha. Just bop it. Yeah, bop the like button and do all the things, you know? If you enjoy your stay here, you know, hit the subscribe button. It really does help us out, seriously. Once again, huge shout out to No Justice MTG. Democrats and voting rights advocates warn Florida's law will disenfranchise eligible voters who lack ready access to the documents that are needed to vote. Already, the League of Women Voters of Florida and the coalition of advocacy groups represented by the ACLU have filed a federal lawsuit to block the law. We are most concerned about the impacts as it relates to the most vulnerable Florida voters, said Jonathan Topaz, attorney for the ACLU. This could mean older black voters who grew up in Jim Crow who don't have access to birth certificates. This could be naturalized citizens who, we know naturalized citizens are flagged as non-citizens all the time, which of course that's pretty convenient. That's pretty convenient. Voters who are born in Puerto Rico, have changed their names, or have lost documents may struggle to meet the requirements of the new law. Supporters of the legislation note that millions of Floridians have already shown government officials their passports or birth certificates when obtaining a real ID. They also argue that the law is necessary to prevent voter fraud despite little evidence of it occurring. This is, again, super important to highlight. This idea that there is a massive problem that needs to be solved with this legislation is insane. It's delusional. It's literally divorced from reality, quite frankly, because there is no problem. There's no evidence to suggest that there is a massive voter fraud issue happening here. that requires the state to take this measure and then claim that we are doing election integrity. I broke my high string at a premonition like 5 seconds before, but thought it would be the B string. You're playing guitar. Yeah, just separate it from reality. You got a great radio voice. Really? Is that, I mean, I'm gonna blame it on, my microphone because I take great pride in messing with audio. That is my thing. That is my jam. I love tweaking audio and getting it just right. At least for me. At least it sounds good for me. Elections have been rigged shams for longer than any of us have been alive. Yeah, but this is like further, I guess, evidence of that. You do have a good tone and cadence too. It's not just the mic. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Ron the Sleep will be gone soon. He'll join his buddy Trump in the jail soon where his ass will drop the soap. I really hope that these people go to jail. Seriously. All of them need to go to jail. All of them need to go to jail. No doubt about it. More than 9% of American citizens of voting age do not have proof of citizen documents readily available, according to a study commissioned by the Brennan Center of Justice. Based on that metric, advocates fear that more than 1 million Floridians could struggle to cast a ballot starting next year, when the law will be fully implemented. And also, just to be clear, just to be clear, this is in a ruby red state, so this is going to affect a lot of Republicans. They'll be disenfranchised. They'll be disenfranchised. If this somehow passes and it becomes the law, I think that if you live in Florida or know somebody that lives in Florida, it should be a warning sign to get prepared now. In the UK, they changed the law a few years ago. Despite zero evidence of voter fraud, now we have to take our IDs to the polling stations. It's just so nonsense. It's nonsense. The echo sounds great too. Good sound deadening. Yeah, no, like I said, I take a lot of time to mess with how things sound. There is literal sound deadening stuff behind me to reduce that. There's filters and all kind of stuff. But yeah, I recently bought this little guy over here, this little pop filter, to replace the other pop filter to make it more streamlined. Anyways, yeah. Electoral fraud, they're doing the crime as the authority doing the counting. Yes. Professional sound setup. Yeah, all this with, by the way, just a simple USB mic from this is the Samsung G-Track Pro. I highly, if you're into recording, because this is mostly like a recording mic. This is to like record. It's not like really for podcasting. Not really. Although although it is, useful for that. It can be used for that. It's really meant for recording voice and for recording instruments. But it seems to work very, very well. It seems to work very well. And with the right filters, I repurposed it to be used on stream. Anyways, most countries do have national ID cards, but the US does not. Yeah, and it's not free either. This rubbish, as Wyston said, it's not who votes, but it's who counts the votes. Most countries, it would be tit for tat. Every presidency, the winning party would be charging the losing party with crimes. The United States already celebrates the last 4th of July as a free country if Trump gets his way here. I mean, we're kind of GG's on that one until all of this is over. What worries me is the corruption is so brazen out in the open, but the corruption was always like, it's there in both parties. I do think the Dems would be worried about holding them accountable. If that happens, like, it's seriously like, we cannot move forward. I've said this like a million times. We cannot move forward if there is no accountability. We cannot move forward if there's just no accountability. If everyone just kind of moves on, if everyone just moves on and pretends like everything was just fine and dandy and we're just moving on, like nothing happened, then yeah, it's done. It's done. It's done for because it's just gonna happen again, right? There's no accountability. There's no if no one goes to jail, if no one sees trial for any of this, then yeah, it's kind of gone. It's kind of done. The Dems are there to block all movement to the left, not to get in the way of the movement to further to the right. Oh, I don't disagree. I think the Dems, especially as like a federal entity, has been quite useless. I agree, but the Dems would have to hit hard. The Dems would have to do something. Seriously. It was GG's in the 1787. Florida does after... Oh yeah, no, bigly. Other states have tried to impose documentary proof of citizenship requirements in the past, but courts have ruled they violate the federal law. To comply with one such ruling, Arizona now has a bifurcated election system that allows those who have improved their citizenship to only vote in federal elections. Yeah, the system offers a window into the kinds of people who do not have access to the documents required by proof of citizenship. In Arizona, they are disproportionately voters of color and younger voters because, duh. Of course, according to an analysis by the Brennan Center, VoteBeat reported that Arizonans who are only eligible to vote in federal elections often live around college campuses, suggesting they are students without their citizenship documents on hand. Yeah. And with Schumer and Jeffries in charge, they will not hit hard. I don't know, those strongly worded letters hit pretty hard. Oligarchs control the economy, and that's the problem. Yep. Gyllenhaal called it out in the counter-revolution of 1776. Honestly, I consider this a safe space, but I'm done with the Dems as a party. There are some here that are worth supporting, but as a party... Look, I understand that position. I understand that position. Really, I do. I think it comes down to like a candidate-by-candidate basis, and I think it always should count. It should always be counted on a candidate-by-candidate basis, right? Because if you're just blindly supporting a party for the sake of supporting a party, you're not doing politics, you're doing team sports. Aroused. We will win! We will win! So yeah, that's kind of like my take. Of course, it's gonna have to be like a candidate by candidate basis, and I think it should be. It's not that you should just blindly support like the Democratic Party because they're the Democratic Party, right? It should be essentially like, hey, there are candidates here that we can push to the extent that like we're doing the like the whole electoralism, okay? Just to be clear, like electoralism isn't just like the end all be all. It's just simply a tool. And if we are going to do this, if we are going to do this, then we should probably try to push the best candidates forward, right? Like if there's a progressive candidate who is for Medicare for all and anti-genocide, like that kind of would be the candidate that we should try to like focus on, right? But the point being is that it's not just because they are a Democratic candidate that it should be, we should just support it just simply because. There are arguments for harm reduction. But yeah, I understand that there's there's lines. You know what I mean? There's lines, and I think, I think we have to start drawing them. It's weird when people say voting doesn't matter when Republicans are working so hard to limit people's voting rights. Oh no, 100%. You should still participate. I'm just saying that, like, I understand why people are mad at the Democratic Party and don't want anything to do with them. But yeah, as far as like electoralism goes, yeah, it should always be on a case by case basis. And I think that any progressive candidate that decides to try to throw their hat in the ring should be supported, right? And most likely those candidates will be in the Democratic Party. Schumer and Jeffries have and been and will be hitting very hard, specifically on punching left, crushing Cisneros, and worse than Manchin Cuellar, for example. No doubt, those are terrible. Man, all this cake talk. What do you guys talk? How did we get to cake? How did we get to cake? Let them eat cake. We need to make Matt Bender's Schumer parade vid a meme. So, to your point, Globus, this is a perfect example, right? It asks election officials to verify voter citizenship after registration for Floridians who have shown their passports or birth certificate to government officials. When getting their driver's license or citizenship will be affirmed and the registration gets approved. Those without this information on file will be asked to prove their citizenship within a month, or they could be removed from the voter rolls. So yeah, just again, if this passes and this starts to go into effect, this is the type of stuff that we have to be ready for. Okay, we have to be ready for this stuff. If and when it drops. Wendy Sartori Link, the supervisor of elections in Palm Beach County, said implementing this law will be a major challenge to election officials, particularly those in larger and more diverse counties. Link said her office will need to roll out new rules and forms, all of which do not yet exist and will need to be written by the state, and rush to begin preparing the proof of citizenship requirement that go into effect in January. So the computer systems will need to be updated. The voter file doesn't currently include a space for citizenship proof, and that new systems will need to be created among agencies to share data. Link also said she will need to hire new staffers to handle the increased workload, though the bill did not give her any additional funding to pay for it. Fantastic. Fantastic. Once the voters are asked for proof, she said she's worried long lines will form with voters bringing proof of citizenship. She also said that she has many unanswered questions. Can she accept proof of citizenship over email if she can't touch the raised seal to be sure it's an original document? Does she need to ask voters to prove their citizenship every time they update their voter registration? Does she need new training to evaluate the proof of citizenship that voters may bring her? This is a clusterfuck, and I think it's on purpose. If you ask me, if somebody brings a birth certificate, it's an Idaho birth certificate. I don't know what that looks like. Am I supposed to know whether or not that's fraudulent, or do I just accept it because it says Idaho birth certificate? Florida's new law also restricts the kind of photo IDs that voters can use to prove their identities at the polls, eliminating the use of retirement community and student IDs. At polling sites near college campuses and retirement communities, Link said this change could trigger long lines as more students fill out provisional ballots and need to later affirm their identities. Out-of-state students may struggle to obtain the required ID unless they plan months ahead. In her community, she said it also takes time to get an appointment for a Florida driver's license. Lawmakers in a dozen states have advanced legislation this year that would require residents to prove their U.S. citizenship to register to vote or bring photo ID to the polls. According to the Voter Rights Lab, a nonpartisan group that tracks election legislation, Utah and South Dakota have sent bills imposing a proof of citizenship requirement onto their governors. So yeah, it's not just Florida. And like I said, if this is successful, you're gonna see this pop up. So yeah, this is going to set to happen in next year. Florida's okay. The people kind of suck. True. 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 So, the Utah AG has sworn up and down. The concept of provisional ballots is utterly ridiculous. So yeah, this is happening. The Utah AG has sworn up and down that they won't let it happen. And here we are. Well, this is Florida. But yeah, it's not, it's not gonna stop there. So yeah, if you live in Florida or you know somebody that lives in Florida, it's time to spread the word, folks, to prepare people, and get people ready as soon as possible, because when this hits next year, and it doesn't seem like it seems like it's a far away timeline, but it's not. It's not. It's really not. So if you live in Florida or you know somebody in Florida, now's the time to get ready and prepare and make sure you have what you need to have, and start preparing for this, because it's here. I know who lives in Florida. Florida man. Everyone don't go vacationing in Florida and protest. I can do that. I had my first Cuban breakfast in Florida, and I love that part of Florida. Just the racist dumb fucks parts. Yeah. Cuban food is great. The Florida Cubans, who mostly are Republican. I will vote for Donald Trump. Those people, yeah, not so great. The food is good. But yeah. Thankfully, my BFF and godchildren got out. Good. Good. So did I. So did I, thankfully. I made it out of Florida quite a minute and a half ago. And I'm grateful that I did, simply because, like, man, the cost of living is just out of this world. Not that the cost of living isn't, like, rising where I am, but but Florida, especially like South Florida, is just untenable. It's just the cost of living in South Florida is so untenable that they basically priced us out, like, I want to say like 4 to 5 to 6 years ago. About 5 years ago, maybe. I don't remember exactly, but close enough. About anywhere from like 4 to 6 years ago. And I can't imagine the cost of living now. I think the last stream I told folks that I literally got a message, a picture, of one of my friends that sent me of gas prices. It's just exorbitant. Don't worry, it's also sinking underwater anyways. Yep, that's true. I missed the Florida news because of Uber. What did they do now? Oh, they passed their own version of the SAVE Act, essentially. So if you live in Florida or know somebody in Florida, their version of the SAVE Act passed. So now is the time to prepare if you are again, if you live in Florida. Or know somebody in Florida. Lots to see who eat chlamydia and lupus. Yeesh, true. The Florida company I worked for years got bought out by a Mexican company. Washington and Monaco might have higher costs of living. Ooh. Well, I'm saying just for me. I got priced out years ago, and I can't imagine how much it is now. I'm very thankful that I got out of here. Same going on here in Tennessee. We're getting rich transplants to take advantage of our tax laws and driving up the cost of living. Yep. Yep. All right, folks. We need to get going. I think we have one more article, and then we are out of here on this whole voting thing. On this whole voting tip here. Trump signs a new executive order on voting. Experts say he lacks the authority. Well, I'm so glad the experts are saying that he lacks the authority, but he's still doing it. So okay. Monaco's where the Monte Carlo casino is. Huh. President Trump on Tuesday escalated his efforts to reshape American elections. That is a way of framing it. Yep, the text bro Exodus, you're welcome. That is one way of saying it. That is definitely a way of saying it. Signing an executive order that seeks to create lists of U.S. citizens who are eligible to vote in each state, and instructing the U.S. Postal Service to send mail ballots to only verified voters. Yeah, also known as RIG. Next is the next if they haven't done it already. Not surprised. Yeah, I would second that. Trump told reporters in the Oval Office that he believes the order is legally foolproof. But election experts say that the order is unconstitutional, and voting rights advocates and Democratic state officials quickly pledged to sue to block the orders from going into effect. A previous executive order on elections signed about a year ago has been blocked by federal judges who said the president lacked the constitutional authority to set voting policy because, of course, that's insane. That's insane. The Constitution says time, place, and manner of federal elections are determined by individual states, with Congress to able to enact changes. This executive order is a disgusting overreach of the federal government and shows how little the Trump administration understands about election administration. Oh no! Don't get it twisted. They understand. It's just that they want that control. Yeah. Adrian Fontes, the Democratic Secretary of State of Arizona, said in a statement on Tuesday, "We will not let this order stand without a fight, and we will meet the federal government in court." Oh, well, thanks, dudes. Yeah. Arizona is among the 24 states that Trump's Department of Justice has sued over access to voter-sensitive data. The Trump administration claims it needs the data to enforce state voter list maintenance. Federal judges in 3 states have dismissed the Justice Department's lawsuits in those states. In another case, the DOJ official admitted in court last week that the department plans to share the voter data with the Department of Homeland Security to run it through the so-called SAFE system to search for non-citizens. Yeah, nothing nefarious going on over here. Nothing nefarious going on over here, folks. Nothing to see here. NPR reported some U.S. citizens have also been inaccurately flagged by SAFE. Yep, I'm not surprised. Trump has long railed basically about widespread illegal voting by non-citizens and fraud associated with mail ballots. This new executive order, which was first reported by the Daily Caller, takes aim at both. It instructs the Department of Homeland Security, working in conjunction with the Social Security Administration, to compile and transmit the chief election official of each state a list of individuals confirmed to be United States citizens who will be above the age 18 at the time of upcoming federal election who maintain a residence in the subject state. The order then requires the USPS to transmit ballots to only individuals enrolled in a state-specific mail-in and absentee participation list, ensuring that only eligible absentee or mail-in voters receive absentee or mail-in ballots. Postal Service is reviewing the executive order, USPS spokesperson Kathy Purcell stated in a statement. Ugh. You know, some states are starting to copy my SAVE Act to dumbass supporters who are... The cross-check thing is likely involved. Yeah. Who are mainly boomers. You know, we love our baby boomers. The Postal Service should also review the design of mail ballot envelopes to protect the integrity of federal elections. Collectively, the provision would be a significant change on how mail ballot programs are currently administered in the American elections, which are largely carried out by state and local officials. Our government citizenship lists are incomplete and inaccurate. The United States Postal Service is overburdened and inadequate. This combines a car crash with a train wreck, said the Brennan Center for Justice, which advocates for expanding voting access and sued to block Trump's 2025 election executive order. The National Rural Letters Carrier Association is also raising concerns about my little pug champs The order, which Union President Don Mastin would said imposed new administrative burdens on an agency that is already under significant financial strain. The Postal Service is not an election enforcement agency. It's not a substitute for state election administrators, and it is not equipped or authorized to decide who is or not entitled to vote. Mastin said in a statement, any effort to push USPS into that role risks politicizing one of the nation's most trusted public institutions and threatening public confidence in both mail and the electoral process, which is the point. Let's be clear. Rick Hasson, the election law expert at UCLA, wrote in his blog that order is likely unconstitutional, and regardless, he added, the timing here makes it virtually impossible to implement in time for November's elections. It seems highly unlikely this could be implemented for 2026, even if it was not blocked by courts. So there you have it, folks. I gotta get out of here. It's about 7:30, but we have to keep an eye on this. It's unclear how far this is gonna go, but and if they are able to implement this in time, that is essentially the question here. How far can they go, and whether or not they have the time to implement this. Imagine the fit these people would be throwing if Dems were trying to pass this crap. Yep, I agree. Click somebody tell Trump they're mail ballots and not mail ballots, he'll veto the bill. I mean, he still voted that way. Post office is DOA. Yeah, trying to kill it. Literally. Sub, you wankers. Globus, hey folks, thank you all for being here. I appreciate you guys. You guys are what makes this channel go. Thank you for your support. If you want to support the channel directly, check out all the links. All the links are there. And hit the exclamation mark, tip, merch, all that stuff. Check out my show every Tuesday on this space at 7 p.m. Eastern. Please, folks, two shout outs before I get out of here. Two shout outs. Please check out twitch.tv/Globus_the_elder. Please go check out his stream. And please go check out No Justice MTG on both Twitch and on YouTube. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the new follows, and thank you for your support. You guys are what makes this channel go. Thank you, Heat. Thank you, Michael Hassler. Thank you, Ladybug. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you all for being here. As always, folks, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one tomorrow about 5 p.m. Eastern time. God speed and God willing. Judgment Free Zone, thank you. Appreciate it. See ya. Thank you, Team Sam Cedar. And so ends another woke episode. Woke a difficult truth. Can we investigate his contracts? So many people have been saying it's fake news, and you just can't have that fake news. Hang tight, folks. Hang tight. Why can't I search? Oh, here we go. Alright, my little pog champs, we're heading out. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.